Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and I've got another Christmas card to share with you guys, even though Christmas is only a couple of days away. However, people watch my videos, anytime during the year. Some are planning ahead for next Christmas, which I can't even imagine right now. But the ideas are still rolling, and Christmas being a couple days away, I'm still in the Christmas mood. So I'm like, I will just keep making them and keep posting them. Who knows when I'll stop with the Christmas cards. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I have this family and friends stamp set from Hero Arts and some primitive white cardstock from MFT. And I used my anti-static powder tool to coat the cardstock. That just helps prevent the embossing powder from sticking to anything but the stamped image. And I'm inking up the smaller tree from the stamp set with Versamark ink. And then I'm coating it with Ranger Gold embossing powder. And I just pour that over a coffee filter. I've shown this so many times in videos. Coffee filters are the way to go. You can get a great big pack of them for so cheap. Biodegradable, they last forever. They don't get staticky and clingy. Love coffee filters. One of the best stamping tools ever. So use that and then set that aside and use my heat tool to melt the embossing powder. And then I just use the coffee filter to funnel all that excess powder right back into the container. So super simple and quick, and then set that all aside. And then for the rest of the card front, I'm inking up that same tree again, this time with just black ink. This was one of those ideas that just kind of popped in my head sort of randomly, and it's been in the back of my mind now for a good, oh goodness, week or two now, and just haven't had the time to execute it. But I was kind of thinking just this was the type of card I would see in like a stationery shop or something. I don't know. I just had this idea of all these black line Christmas trees and then one embossed to just kind of pop out. So that's where I had my grid paper to stamp on so that all the over stamping doesn't get all over my craft mat and AKA all over my hands, because I do that all the time. I end up making a mess of everything and more often than not smear on the card. So grid paper for the win. And once I was done stamping, I die cut it with the largest die from My Favorite Things Blueprints 2 Dynamics. And then I took a piece of scrap black cardstock and again coated it with the anti-static powder tool. And then I'm inking up the sentiment from the set with Versamark ink again. And I'm always lining things up, either my grid paper or on my grid mat. I'm always lining things up using those grid lines to just help me eyeball things to make sure they're stamped straight, and saves me the hassle of having to redo things or re-trim things or whatever. So got it stamped on there with the Versamark ink, coated it with the same embossing powder, and then tapped off the excess, and I'm holding it with my reverse tweezers, another must-have tool. These things are amazing, especially when working with smaller pieces like this, where you would definitely burn your fingers trying to melt this embossing powder. So reverse tweezers for the win again. And once that was done, let it sit for a second or two just to cool off. And then I just rub off the excess non-stick powder with my fingers, because it definitely shows up on black, any darker cardstock, that powder shows up, but it just wipes right off with either your fingers, or you can use a Swiffer cloth, a piece of paper towel, whatever works for you. So once I wipe that off, I just use my scissors. I haven't done this in forever, but cut a flag end on that cardstock with my scissors just to give it a little extra something, and then adhered it flat to my card and just kind of wrapped the little end around. And then I grabbed some little gold glitter enamel dots from my stash that I absolutely love. And I couldn't stop at 3. I had to add 5 just to give it a little extra something. And yet they're not bulky enough that keeping this card adhered flat, if you did want to just pop it in the mail, it'd be good to go. That's also why I adhered the sentiment flat, and then I'm going to adhere the card front flat to the card as well. Same cardstock, primitive white cardstock, using my Teflon bone folder and giving it a good score and pressing in that crease. And it's a standard A2 card, so 4¼ by 11 inches, and then scored at 5½. So standard A2 card front, and then my trusty old ATG again to adhere this to the card. If I'd wanted to kind of jazz it up a little bit, I would have popped this up on foam tape, maybe added a little bit of gold cord. There's so many ways you totally could, but I wanted this to be quick and easy because I only had really a few minutes to make a card, let alone do this editing and all that fun stuff. So I just wanted to get her done So grabbed another sentiment from the same stamp set and lined it up on my grid mat before I picked it up with my acrylic block, and then inked it up with black ink, the same black ink I used on the front, and then just stamped it off once to make sure I was stamping it, inking it up fully. And then as a final little touch, I grabbed my Delicata Golden Glitz ink pad, which everyone should own. This one and their silver one are just, they're beautiful inks. So I grabbed the star from the stamp set and stamped that just to finish off the card, and that's all there was to it. So as always, there will be links below the video to my blog post, to the supplies, all that kind of info is in the description box below. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribing, and thumbs upping. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.